hopeless, many in misery, many are suffering in Africa, in the Middle East, in the whole world. Oh, the world is burning. Oh, fighting is everywhere. People are dying. Oh, many are hopeless, in misery, many are suffering in Africa, in the Middle East, in the whole world. Yeah. We need peace, peace, peace. We need peace in Africa. We need peace, peace, peace. We need peace in the whole world. Oh, we need peace in Africa. Oh, we need peace in the whole world. Oh, we need peace, peace, peace. We need peace in Africa. We need peace, peace, peace. We need peace in the whole world. Oh, oh, why are we fighting? Why are we dying? Why is the hatred? Why is the division? We need peace. Woman, woman. We need peace in the world. We need peace. We need peace in Africa. Woman, woman. Woman, woman. We need peace. Woman, we need peace in Africa. Why are we fighting? Why is there hatred? Why is there division? We need peace. We need peace in Africa. Woman, woman. We need peace in the whole world. Woman, woman. Oh, woman, woman. The Lord said, let there be peace. My peace I leave with you, not as the world gives. The peace of the Lord is supreme. My dear people of the world, why do we live in pieces rather than in peace? Peace breeds unity. Peace breeds strength. And strength makes success in leadership. Why are we living in a shattered manner? Why do we fight in the world? Why are our leaders not listening to us? We need peace in Africa. We need peace in the world. A peace that comes only from the Lord, that the world cannot be. Peace cannot be in guns. Peace cannot be in bombs. Cry cannot bring peace. But the Lord gives peace. The peace of the Lord.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the late start. It's 6:34 p.m. here in Washington, D.C. And we have three panelists who probably will be coming to make our televiewers know the details of so many things that has been happening in the couple of days that did pass by. We've had a couple of and a good number of Cameroonians who were deported people are asking so many questions from left and right. What happened? What went wrong? So today we brought Mr. Seth and also Waters. We're sorry that CV could not be part of this platform tonight because she surely got a little bit held back because of some other things that she had to handle. I'll be letting my two panelists who are present to do their presentation. So we jump into the detailed discussions of the deportation. Mr. Said, if your mic is open, you can go ahead and do the introduction, please.
Yeah, hi. My name is Seth Camacho. I'm both a PhD student at the University of Maryland and also a food safety research scientist at the Food and Drug Administration. I've been volunteering with the Cameroon American Council for the past 5 years. And I met Sylvie about 5 years ago in Washington, D.C. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Seth, for dedicating your time to talk to us this evening. We'll be getting back to you to get details about what is happening. I'll be turning this time around to Mr. Waters. Mr. Waters, please, your mic is open.
Yes, good evening, televiewers. Good evening, Seth. Good evening, panelists. My name is Pastor Walters Keyaka. I'm also a nurse by profession and a pastor. As a Southern Cameroonian and or Ambazonian, and have seen the difficulties and the challenges of our people, through various systems, various subjugation back home, and now within the context of the United States of America. So I would like, after having gone to some detailed meetings with some of the detainees and their families and what they were going through, and given also the state of the law within the United States, I think that today will be an interesting discussion for us, not to assume or be basing our arguments on assumptions rather than exactly what is taking place. I think that's a healthy discussion for everybody to know, and for everyone to know, those who are concerned and those who are scared of what just happened, so they'll have clarity and know what's happening. Thank you.
That sounds great. Thank you guys for tuning in. So many people are looking up to get a lot of details from you guys. Before we dive deep, I want to say special hi to Elias, then Kave, Aku, and Edmond. These are very good friends to me. They were also asking a lot of questions. Do you have any details about the deportation? That's one of the questions Elias did send to me. That so you shared a flyer that you have three panelists who will be talking about this. So Elias sent me this question to ask either of you. So I'll be sending this question to Said. Sir, what went wrong? It got to the point that so many people got deported. What really transpired? So that is the kind of question people are looking to hear you address tonight.
Yeah, sure. So basically, back in Cameroon, there's been an ongoing civil war, basically 5 armed conflicts, and it is rooted back all the way to colonialism between Francophiles, French-speaking people, English-speaking people. And as a result of the violence there, and as a result of the repressive government actions, people have been fleeing as refugees, and many people have been coming up through the US-Mexico border. As many as a couple tens of thousands of Cameroonians have come to the US-Mexico border seeking asylum. And basically, they are getting detained by ICE, put in detention centers. Even in many cases, they might even just get turned away. But if they are detained, they're sent to these detention centers where often there's horrible conditions, there's no access to legal representation or translation services. It's thought to be about 10,000 or more Cameroonians in these detention centers. And ICE has not been producing any data about the demographics of the people who are in these detention centers. They're not releasing data about the medical records of these people. They're not releasing information about whether they have received legal representation. And so essentially, we're at a point where we're trying to advocate to get ICE to hand over the data that it has, including contact information, so that legal representation and bonds can be posted for these people so that they can be released.
Okay. Thanks so much. Wally, on your part, what is the part you played in trying to get situations fixed from this other side, like Seth and had his team are trying to do? So what is your own part that you in deportation saga?
Well, I also work sometime auxiliary with the Cameroon, the CSC of Civil Bello, and
Yeah.
also other human rights groups, in contact also the Southern League group, all these groups to try to initiate to make sure that our people have equal representation. Equal representation. Some of these people in these detention centers are people we know that left from war zones. I mean, some from Batibo, some from the heartland. Most of their houses have been burnt. These people are fleeing for their lives. They are fleeing for their lives. The Southern Cameroonian youth, or the Ambazonian youth, has become now like an endangered species in Cameroon. You know, a soldier just walk around and shoot carelessly without even taking into consideration who these people are. You know, so this is the situation, and our people are now refugees all over the world. It's not only in the United States. There are some in Ghana. There are almost 60 to 70,000 in Nigeria. Some are internally displaced within La République du Cameroon. So this is a situation that we have to try everything within our possible best. That we that have been privileged to be in this country, to make sure that we give back to those who are suffering, to give back to those who don't have the possibility for legal representation. Our voices must be heard. We must speak for them. We have to speak for the voiceless. And that's what we are doing.
Thank you, Wally. Said, you guys are doing a very great job. The question people are asking is the crisis that is taking place in Cameroon has overdue. It has been running for the past 4 years, and we've not seen any major international community stepping in to see how they can fix things. There's this much talk about national sovereignty that international communities are trying to respect, especially in moments like people are questioning why would the law of be it a national sovereignty be an impediment for international communities to step in when people are dying? So the kind of question that comes up all the time is like, despite the great job you guys are doing, have you or in one way or the other tried to get in contact with some of these, be it the United States government, be it UN, to like, oh, there's a big problem going on in Cameroon. Nobody's making any effort because the UN has been silent. We've had some outings from the US Congress, so that is not sufficient. Did you on your own side try to do any diplomatic moves that could step in?
Yes,
So
Sylvia Bello. Oh, sorry.
Yes,
Sylvia
said you go
Bello
ahead.
has been doing Sylvia Bello has been doing a lot of work trying to get whether the United Nations or the U.S. Congress involved in these issues. She was influential in getting a letter written to the United Nations to try to get some kind of peacekeeping resolution, some kind of help for the situation. She's also raised awareness in the U.S. Congress, and so much of the work that we have done has been visiting congressional offices, raising awareness about these issues. She was successful in getting some Congress people to go to the US-Mexico border and to look at the conditions in the ICE detention facilities. She has gotten some congressional members to go to Cameroon and to at least observe some of the conditions as a result of the conflict. She has also been very influential as of lately. Like the vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris has signed a letter of support to try to get more data from ICE about the people and immigration facilities so that more legal representation can be sent there. She has really done an excellent job of reaching out as best as she can, given limited resources, to as many congressional people as she can, to the United Nations. She also had tried going to the United States Agency for International Development to get a mission established in Cameroon that might provide some foreign aid. Um, I also know with some congressional members that she has applied to get defense funds and military support from the United States. But it's definitely been an uphill battle. But despite it all, Sylvie has been a warrior for the cause. She's been trying her best.
Okay, thank you so much. Wally, you know the battleground very well. You know you're a Cameroonian, and you know how
I'm a
uh,
Southern Cameroonian.
yes, you're a Southern Cameroonian, and you've been in Cameroon before being who you are, and you know the diplomatic bottlenecks, and you know that
Yes.
some of this international aid that goes back home to help the people, the needy, ends up in the hands of those who are already very rich. What are you trying to do in your own position to step in? Because at times the UN, some of this financial aid or some things that are destined for the people that terribly need the help, it gets to Yaoundé, and the people in the offices like Minister of External Relations or Minister of Public Health would take the aid, and that ends up there, they share to families, their own families, not even sending it to those who desperately need this. What are you trying to do in order to make sure that any aid that leaves any international community should reach the people that really need it?
Yes. Thank you for your question. We have been working hand in hand with most of the humanitarian groups to directly to
Yes.
have access to our people, to have access in the war zones, to try to talk to the clergy, the churches, try to talk to people on the ground, and assaulting people, and have relatives in these zones. And don't
Yeah.
forget that all of us in the diaspora, we have our village cultural groups who send remittances
Sure.
directly to these groups, directly to the IDPs in Douala Yaoundé. Sometimes we send
Hmm.
them directly. So it's all about keeping data and making sure that every time that whatever data, possible data we have, and you remember that you also have the United Nations relief effort on the ground. You know, it might not be in a
Yeah.
very observatory mode, but they're still on the ground, and we have people there in contact that will try to keep data to make sure that whatever aid comes in on the ground, it must go to those who are affected. But remember, in the international scene, they still look at Cameroon as the one who has the mandate. So normally, before an international community comes in, Cameroon has to give the accord. Cameroon have to accept that, hey, I'll be taking this in. So that's the challenges, that we have. Don't also forget that we have to call geopolitics, whereby the international community have stratified regions based on influences. For example, you have the 14 French regions who are under French hegemony. So those are the challenges we have. And that's even one of the consequences of the cause of the ongoing war. Because you don't expect someone like us, who were raised with an English culture, had a different form of education, and to come, you expect a teacher who studied chemistry de la première et terminale to come and to begin to teach children chemistry who started chemistry from one. It's completely unbelievable. And when we try to air our voices, our people are being squashed, they're being killed. Take for example the warring factions in southern Cameroon and the Kanto protests. Our people were shot with live bullets. Our people were shot with live bullets. Why those from La République du Cameroon were shot with toy bullets? That's to tell you that it's a very serious issue, and the international community, must come to terms that it's only through a negotiated settlement that this problem can be solved.
Thank you. Mr. Said, when you listen Cameroonian problems, what really prompted all this saga is a lot about marginalization. It's a lot about assimilation. It's a lot about considering the Anglophone Cameroonians like a third citizen or third class citizen. It's about disrespect of human rights. What when you know also the bottlenecks and the sovereignty issue that stands in the way of any intervention, what do you think can probably be a solution to this? Because already before anything happens in Cameroon, you need to get an approval from the government. How in what way do you think you guys can get out of this and really face the problem squarely?
I can't speak too much to the Cameroon government side, but on the U.S. government side, it's definitely a difficult problem. And in the United States right now, you could say that there's kind of a racial reckoning that is occurring as a result of the Trump administration, which is explicitly racist. Um,
Yes.
and that attitude, those attitudes are pervasive throughout the US Congress. Um, I know from personal visits where I was working with Sylvie and visiting Congress members that people have very backwards and racist attitudes. And so some of our work, honestly, is to even educate Congress members about the issues, to make them more knowledgeable and to help them understand the issues. I know that Sylvie thought it was of great importance to invite some Republican Congress people to Cameroon so that they could get real life experience of what was happening and to connect to the people. Um,
Yes.
but like I say, America deals with a lot of institutional racism within its own borders and with its own people, and it becomes even more magnified at the international level.
Okay, Mr. Stead, I'll stay with you a little bit. I'm wondering, have you tried to get in touch with the frontline leaders of the Anglophone struggle? Like we have the Magbaretas, Eric Tato, Sisiko is in prison. We also have Sakoi Kome. Have you tried to talk to these people who are leading the struggle from the diaspora? Have you been in touch with them to hear their approach and see what you can chip in to support them and pushing the way forward?
I personally have not been involved in work with respect to that. I've dealt more with deportation issues within the U.S. itself. I'm not aware if Sylvie Bello has.
Okay. Yes, so about the deportation, a good number of Cameroonians were already deported, and a good number are still in the deportation camps waiting their own fate. So, what is it? What is that message that you can pass out to tonight to people who are watching us? What are the measures you're taking? Are there any possibility to stop the deportation? Because I listened to President Trump saying asylum is a scam and that no other American is not gonna tolerate that again. So it's like, is it a fight like you guys are fighting a lost battle, or do you still have hopes for uh, anything positive?
I think the Cameroon American Council is a very powerful advocate for people who are being detained right now. Sylvie Bello, like I say, has been a warrior for the cause, raising awareness. She's really tried hard to connect with other activist groups that deal with Latino communities. And part of the efforts have been to try and get services to these people, to try to write letters to detainees to figure out all of the Cameroonians that are being held right now, so that there forms a line of communication so that services can be provided. And some of that is trying to get pro bono lawyers to take a look at some of these cases. And in some special cases that has happened. I know that in some cases they've been fundraising to try and post bonds where they can. Um, I don't think it's hopeless, but it definitely will require a lot more awareness, a lot more help from other organizations that have more resources, like the groups that deal with Latino immigration issues. Part of it too is trying to get French translators into the detention centers, because honestly, for Latino people, there are Spanish-speaking services where people help make them aware of what resources are available, to give them legal advice, but the same opportunities are not there for French-speaking people. And so if there were French-speaking people who were aware of the law, please reach out to the Cameroon American Council. Those services would be very well accepted. Also, any lawyers that can provide pro bono help, that's something that would be very much appreciated. And as well, in general, just contributing funds.
Okay.
Honestly, it requires a lot of money to help people.
Okay, thank you, Seth. Wally, do you have like a major concern that you want the public, like Seth is saying, that you guys are soliciting assistance from any direction? Do you have like contact information or emails or numbers that you want any sympathizer of the struggle you guys are taking to get in touch with resource persons? Do you have like any information you want to put on here tonight to viewers out there?
Yes, I think ongoing. I'll send you the email links of basically the Cameroon American Council have been trying to work in really hard with regards to trying to help the detainees to have proper judicial representation. You know, they've been working
Yeah,
so hard to, yeah, but at the same time, you also have to know that despite the fact that President Trump said that asylums were, were stopped, it's not the law. It's not the law.
yeah,
He has what we
sure.
call judicial prerogatives. He has things he can
Mm-hmm.
do within his power as a law. In July 2019, he stopped every asylum from the southern border, but the judge reversed it.
Yes.
You know, the judge reversed it, and he changed instead for detainees to apply for asylum, they apply for what we call holder removal agreement. It's like you come to
Mm-hmm.
the country, and when your country is fine, you go back. So those are the kind of policy that he was bringing in place. That notwithstanding, it is illegal to deport a detainee who are not fully gone through the judicial process. These people are not illegals. They came through the port of entry. They surrendered to the ICE. So they did what they're supposed to do. They did not sneak in the country. So most people are thinking that they're just moving around illegals. No, that's not what is happening. These people being deported are people who came to the USA legally through the port of entry. And based on the Geneva Convention and humanitarian law, you have a right to apply for asylum at the port of entry. So that's what they did. Some of the cases have been ongoing. Some have been successful, others have not. So this case of mass deportation is because in October 6th of October 2020, Trump passed another executive order again, where he gave the ICE powers to deport in the next 48 hours. He enlarged the course of the ICE. Normally, the ICE should not walk above 2 miles away from the border. But he has extended their power by the executive order. So these are things that also be still navigated in the law. So all hope is not yet lost. All hope is not lost. We are still fighting very hard to make sure that the other detainees that are there will have due process. Due process shall be respected. The United States is a signatory of the Geneva Convention, and is completely against the law to send back asylum seekers back to their home country where they're suffering from torture.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cameroonian crisis is known worldwide now, and people are surely running away from war. And when I listen to your illustration, the worry here that I'm trying to direct to set here is, despite what everybody knows that is going on in Cameroon, and people who ran away from war and came over here, they were still deported, and it's an illegal approach in respect to United Nations conventions and stuff. So, said, what can be the next step? What can be uh, anything that they can do to reverse that? And even if they have to do that, people were already sent to Cameroon to go and meet the doom. So, what are the way forward?
One thing that I would say too, with respect to Trump, uh, building on what was said before, is like, yes, his word is not law, and I think that everybody who can vote should vote. because I think one of the best things that can happen is to get him out of office. Um, but with respect to things moving forward, getting help to people who have been deported, people who potentially might be deported. Um, right now, the greatest effort is to try to reach out to Congress and different congressional caucuses, the Congressional Black Caucus, different influential Congress people to try to appeal to them to perhaps do an investigation into ICE and to look into some of these deportations and to see if through the process of investigation, if it can at least be slowed down, if not halted altogether.
Yeah, thanks, Seth. I think the take-home message tonight is elections are due in a fortnight. We have not up to a month now. African Americans are cautioned to go out. Don't just support the Democratic Party or be the Republican. If you still want to go with them and stay home, the support that you do verbally is not doing any impact. I think elections are going on. You can vote by mail or you go in person. Early elections are taking place right now, and I've been sounding it here loud and clear that African Americans should step out there and vote out President Trump. He has not brought anything positive to the American the story, because America is no man's where people have loved coming to America. People have escaped crimes, escaped wars from war zones to come find refuge in America. But since Trump has taken power, that peaceful, that refuge that people used to seek here has become an issue. So we're cautioning everybody who has the right to go and vote that voting is right here. Go out. Early votes are taking place. Vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They are supporting our plight. I think it's high time African Americans should sit up and not only talk politics without casting their vote. Thank you all for tuning in tonight and adding your voice and making the world know how their struggles and how you're fighting with the immigrants. I think you guys will have 2 minutes to send a rounding up message to people who are watching us tonight. Start with you, Wally.
Thank you all. Thank you, Seth, for your selflessness. Thank you, Media to Africa, for your dedication in being like a medium of connection between us in the diaspora and the home base. My message for tonight is that not all hope is lost. Hope is not lost. As long as God is in heaven, which I know He is, the plight of the oppressed shall be heard. The plight of the oppressed shall be heard. To the families of the detainees, get in contact, get activated. To the entire Southern Cameroon community, get activated. Contact your congressman. It's your duty, it's your right to write to your congressman to express your trouble. You're a taxpayer, so the Congress works for you. The senators work for you. It's not the other way around. So be active. The more our voices are being heard, the more we'll turn this conundrum, we'll turn this disaster around.
Thank you. Thank you, Wally. I think your message has gone out there. People need to listen to this and stand up. Do your own part while Wally and Seth and Sivi go ahead with their own part. So you need to call your congressman, call your representatives, your governors to be part of this, to push the effort that Wally, Seth, and Sivi are doing so that they fight for the plight of the immigrants. Seth, I'm turning to you to round up for today's talk. Said your mic is open.
Yeah, I would just really reiterate what has been said, what Pastor Wally has said. It's very important to be active. It's important to vote if you can. It's important to make your voice heard, especially to your Congress members. One thing that I've learned working with Sylvie is that it's the house of the people. You can even visit it. You can visit your Congress people. Please speak out. Your voice matters. Too much in recent times, the right-wing agenda has had the microphone, and I think it's time for people to take humanity back, to have empathy for one another, to care about one another, to speak out for one another, because it makes a big difference. And I would also say, just a shout out to the Cameroon American Council, to reach out to Sylvie, to donate if you can. All help matters. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Pastor Wally. Thank you all so much for dedicating your time to fight for the plight of the voiceless. I think our televiewers tonight have listened to you, and they thank you for your effort. We'll continue to push your efforts too on our platform. I think that when we get the emails and the contact numbers you want us to run on our platform, we'll always make an effort to make sure we run that so people get in touch with you. We thank the Cameroon American Council with the great job they're doing. Wally said, CV. I think that the voice, the prayers of the people will continue to give people strength to fight forward. Thank you all so much for dedicating this time tonight to talk to our televiewers. You will be welcome to this platform in the nearest future if you want to elaborate on the next steps that you have. We thank you for tuning in tonight. I have been your humble presenter, Mbungwe Modest. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Modest.
Oh the Lord is supreme. My dear people of the world, why do we live in pieces rather than in peace? Peace breeds unity, peace breeds strength, and strength makes success in leadership. Why are we living in a shattered manner? Why do we fight in the world? Why are our leaders not listening to us? We need peace in Africa. We need peace in the world. A peace that comes only from the Lord, that the world cannot give. Peace cannot be in guns. Peace cannot be in bombs. Crime cannot bring peace. But the Lord gives peace. The peace of the Lord.
COSNET. Together, we are one strong community. When the unthinkable strikes, when you lose a loved one, the last thing that you want is to get into debts or go bankrupt because of paying the last tribute to the fallen family member in dignity. If you are a Cameroonian or a Cameroonian relative living in the United States or traveling very often anywhere around the world, you need COSNET, Community Solidarity Network. COSNET will stand by your family and provide them with financial help of $15,000 to repatriate and lay your remain to rest with dignity. Owned and operated by more than 100 Cameroonian associations from all 50 U.S. states. COSNET has already helped 17 families in the United States and Cameroon with $255,000 since 2016. To join our fast-growing movement and the only Cameroonian community owned and operated by and managed for the Cameroonian associations in the United States, contact us through info@mycosnet.org and phone number. You can also go to www.mycosnet.org to learn more. COSNET. Together, we are one strong community. COSNET. The only Cameroonian community self-help organization owned by and managed for Cameroonian associations in the United States.
Zotek Soccer Tournament is finally here. Watch some live amazing match, eat delicious barbecue while listening to the DMV Top DJ soundtrack. The tournament is constituted of up to 50 teams from 27 nations. The teams that makes the first 18th place will get jersey for the entire team and voucher of up to $500 to register for class at a low price in IT training school. Third place, jersey and voucher to each player and check of up to $1,000. Second place, $1,500 check, jersey, voucher to each player and metal. And the champion, Zotek Soccer Tournament trophy, meter, jersey, up to $500 voucher to each player, an envelope of up to $3,000 check for the development of the team. Wow! All this is free! That's not all. IT Training School is offering vouchers of up to $500 discount to all guests and visitors, which can be used to register for any IT course of their choice. The tournament starts on September 12 and 13 and will take place every weekend until September 27 for the final, followed by big prize giving evening at Zotek headquarters. Zotek Organization Service want to help every individual of all walks of life to find their way in any domain, such as real estate service, IT training, sport management, music and movie production, photo shooting, web mobile application, and much more. Zotek Organization offer referral fees up to $500 for all our IT courses. Contact 240-605-8626-202-362-0946. More information on www.ittrainingschool.info or go to zotekvusha.net. It's the event of the year, Zotek Soccer Tournament. Please help us share this amazing news with all your contacts on social media such as WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the rest. Thank you so much.
boulevard, équilibre et ma double prod. L'argent ne fait pas le bonheur, mais depuis que j'en ai, je me sens beau. Je fais le tour du monde de Yopougon à Monaco. Quand Yamien te bénit, aucune porte ne t'est fermée. Les moments de galère sont des mauvais souvenirs. Car le second nom de Dieu, ça ne te presse pas. Si tu travailles dur, tu as toutes les chances de t'en sortir. Le deuxième nom de Dieu, ça ne te presse pas. Petit à petit, forcé pour toi va sortir. Avant quand je parlais, personne ne voulait m'écouter. Maintenant le boss c'est moi, ce que je dis c'est ce qu'on fait. Enfant de Siporès, aujourd'hui mange à la table des rois. Les moments de galère sont des mauvais souvenirs. Car le second nom de Dieu, ça ne te presse pas. Si tu barres, tu as toutes les chances de t'en sortir. Le deuxième nom de Dieu, ça ne te presse pas. Petit à petit, forcé pour toi va sortir. Sababou, René Hamilton, yeah, Sababou, Prince Peter Fian, Mano TGV, Sababou, Jessie, Lelele, Sababou, Momo Hero, Camara Lai, Jean-Louis Grabat. Chérie Coco, si les autres sont mariés, elles s'en vont pour te laisser. Tu dois pas te décourager, ne te presse pas.
Il n'y a pas de travail, monsieur brûle la porte. Il n'y a pas de boulot ici. Mais
toi qui cherches à travailler et les portes sont fermées, tu dois pas désespérer, ne te presse pas. Ils n'ont qu'à dire que tu t'aimes toujours au quartier, ils n'ont qu'à raconter que tu es le dernier, mais les derniers finissent par devenir premiers. Ils n'ont qu'à dire que tu donnes toujours au quartier. Ils n'ont qu'à raconter que tu es le dernier, mais les derniers finissent par devenir premiers. Car le second nom de Dieu, c'est le temps. Steven Saint-Éloi, c'est le temps. Si tu barres, tu as toutes les chances de t'en sortir. Le deuxième nom de Dieu, c'est le temps. Christian Petit Héros, c'est le temps. Petit à petit, forcé pour toi va sortir. Car le second nom de Dieu, c'est le temps. Ça ne te presse pas, c'est le temps. Si tu barres, tu as toutes les chances de t'en sortir. Le deuxième nom de Dieu, ça ne te presse pas. Petit à petit, forcé pour toi va sortir. Sababou, Razak Siloué, Yannick Saoué, Lelele Sababou, Mike Tosoukro, Alex Gassien, Kader Keita Popito. L'argent ne fait pas le bonheur, mais depuis que j'en ai, je me sens beau. Je fais le tour du monde de Yopougon à Monaco. Quand Yamien te bénit, aucune porte ne t'est fermée. Les moments de galère sont des mauvais souvenirs. Car le second nom de Dieu, ça ne te presse pas. Si tu travailles dur, tu as toutes les chances de t'en sortir. Le deuxième nom de Dieu, ça ne te presse pas. Capitaine Sérédier, toujours pour toi va sortir. Le second nom de Dieu, Marina Jaguar, Max et Gradello, mon vieux Moudo Côte d'Ivoire. Baby Filippo, Juma Saïdo, Nuage Noir, Anonymat le phénomène. Même une montre qui ne marche plus, donne-leur exemple 2 fois par jour. C'est le temps. Yeah.
Demand the brand, demand quality, demand the difference. When the best of you is expressed, demand le Chacal. Available near you, Canada 001 647 808 7802. Cameroon 237 696 349 758. USA 01 301 992 9492. Paris, France 337 58 51 4333. Discover all our articles on chacalfashion.com. Le Chacal by Rodrigue Waco.
A new career, more money, and a better life path that's suited to you? Perhaps you've considered IT but thought it impossible without a technical background. Or maybe you're already in IT and want to change to up-and-coming industries like cybersecurity, data management, or cloud computing. If you answered yes, Panty Tech Academy is here for you. We offer the best-in-class online training, one-on-one coaching, and job search assistance that you need to break into your new IT career. Our system works with a flexible payment plan, and we accept students of any experience from any background. That's what gives us the unique ability to take our students from total novices to high-achieving superstars in just a few months. So, whether you're interested in cybersecurity, system administration, cloud computing, web development, or data analytics, we have the vastly experienced instructors ready to share their passion with you. That's right. Join Panty Tech Academy today, and you'll enjoy the most cost-effective courses available online, hands-on training in real-world scenarios from the best in the business, solo, teamwork, and plenty of opportunities to network and grow. More open doors in your future with better jobs, higher salaries, and loftier ceilings than you could ever have imagined. No matter where you are in the world, head over to pantytechacademy.com now. Sign up for the perfect online or in-person course that's right for you and secure your future with the perfect job in IT.